I got my X account back, and this is a Jester production. All right, hello everybody. I did get my X account back, and I'm very thankful for that. Because I put a lot of work into that. Things are coming up that are important, so I can reference. Anyway, all right. So this is gonna be my schedule for um, this week and next week. So this Saturday, I'm going to do lactoferrin. I'm gonna begin that because I know some people subscribed to me for lactoferrin, and then X went weird, and I started getting all that stuff, and I said I was gonna show some research on that. It's lactoferrin, not lactorferrin. Sorry about that. I accidentally put an R in there, it looks like. Let me fix that real fast. And it's fixed. Okay, and then later on that day, at about 5 o'clock, I'm going to do a space on X. Now, this space on X, I'm going to do a little bit of talking. Um, there's going to be a host. At the Rebel Uniter is going to be there too. She might do a little talking. Um, if you have any questions for me, because I know a lot of people have come up on my stuff, so if they have any questions for me, I'm glad with that. But other than that, I'm also allowing people to speak their mind, and say whatever they need to say. I don't care about your beliefs or anything like that. I just wanted to create a space so people can promote themselves, whether that be business or ideas or whatever. I think that's something important right now, and it's something I'm encouraging too. So the space on X is going to be on this Saturday, 5 o'clock Central Standard Time. Alright, and then next Wednesday I'll do Channy Part 5. And I made another mistake on next Saturday, so let me correct that real fast. I'm not going to pause it this time, I'm just going to do it in real time. Okay, there we go. So next Wednesday, I'm going to do Channy Part 5. I just wrote that this Sunday and posted it. If you want to check it out, it talks about how the moon's role in this electrical Earth system. Um, and then next Saturday, I don't know what I'm gonna do with. I need to catch up with the Channy projects. So there's gonna be a Saturday where I definitely catch up on the Channy project, or the I'm putting Channy. I'm in Convergence, but it's okay. A lot of the information came from the Channy documents, although there were other information sources. So so I'm gonna do part 6 possibly on next Saturday, or if the lactoferrin research isn't complete this Saturday, then I'll definitely do it next Saturday. I think 2 parts will cover the whole lactoferrin thing, because I got a good resource for that, and or it may depend on my mood, a poem. Um, but other than that, let's get into this Convergence part 5. All right. Whoops. Hold on. You don't want the blue screen, do you? There you go. All right. So let's get into this. And I made a mistake. I'm full of mistakes today, it looks like. But I'm human. So it's actually Article 4. So this is the real Great Reset, the electric universe, and why it changes everything. Now I'm going to tell you, before I did this, I did not believe in the electric universe theory. And I'm still not quite positive if it is the electric universe theory. All I know is that the data that I'm about to tell you is just where everything led. There could be a possibility that it could be something in between, like the electric universe theory and then also what we currently know in science. I don't know, or maybe there's a different set of physics in space and compared to Earth and stuff like that. Oh, I mean, if you want to go astro physics, I mean, yeah, but you know what I mean. Like, it could be a combination of both. I don't know, but this is what the data led me to, and the only thing that fitted were things that were said in the electric universe theory. So, and that's what I described here in the beginning. I even took, in college, I even took 2 courses on astrophysics. Those were probably some of my best classes. I mean, I loved them. It was freaking awesome. So, so it begins there, and I do agree. Like one of the things I learned in astrophysics was that gravity was the weakest force. Okay. And this is exactly true right here where I said it, but it's not the dominant force shaping the cosmos. It's not even close. And no, it's not. It's they consider it the weakest force. So, the universe runs on electricity. And at the moment I'm going with this, and here's the thing, what's so weird was that the person who gave me the documents about the stuff leading to where we currently are from 1998, it talked about everything. And I try to remember it right now today to my fullest extent. Some of it's also encoded in my poetry, like my poem Pestilence, The Rise of Hate, stuff like that. Because, I learned that was why, poems were created, was to keep history. So, I wrote poems about it so that I could retain memory about it, whether written or burned into my brain, basically. But the documents only showed this linear timeline, like all the way up to the Great Uniter. Now, what was interesting was when I put the knowledge that I had from the 1998 documents with the Chaney documents, and Bledsoe on the Y files, I added his input also into this, and everything seems to point toward what I'm telling you. And at the end, I will let Grok and Claude, because I use them to analyze the data. And this is like normal doctorate stuff. Like when I was in my doctorate and I was writing a dissertation, I used AI to analyze data. Okay. I was actually given a software for it. So, but at the end, I'll let Grok and Claude, it'll be articles 13 and 14. I'll let Grok and Claude give their own opinion about what they think about the articles that I wrote. Okay, so let's go down. Let's talk about the problem with gravity only models. Okay, so here's what they don't tell you. The gravity only model of the universe is held together with duct tape and dark matter. We can't see dark matter, we can't detect it, we can't measure it, but without it, the math doesn't work. Galaxies rotate too fast. They shouldn't fly apart based on visible mass we can measure. So scientists invented an invisible substance that makes up about 85% of the Earth's mass to make the equation balance. That's not science, that's assumption. That's true. Then there's also dark energy, another visible, undetectable force that we invented to explain why the universe is expanding faster than it should be. So if you want to think about it, 95% of the universe is made up stuff we can't see, touch, or measure. But we're certain it's there because otherwise our models don't work. It is desperation. So, plasma shapes the universe. Not the stuff in your blood. It's the fourth state of matter, ionized gas that conducts electricity. It's the medium. Okay? So 99.9% of the visible universe is plasma. The sun is plasma. The space between the stars is plasma. Galaxies are threaded with plasma filaments carrying electrical currents across millions of light years. This isn't fringe theory, this is observed, peer-reviewed science. And the Electric Universe Model, the EU model, says that the cosmos is shaped primarily by electromagnetic forces, not gravity. Electricity flows through plasma in vast circuits called Birkeland circuits. These currents create the structures we see, galaxies, stars, planetary systems, not through slow gravitational condensation, but through electromagnetic attraction and organization, and it explains things the gravity-only model can't. So, why do the stars not work like we're told? It has to do with the hydrogen fusing into helium at the core, radiating heat outward. The problem is the sun's corona is hotter than its surface. The surface of the sun is 5,500 degrees Celsius, where the corona, the outer atmosphere, reaches over 1 million degrees Celsius. That's like holding a match and discovering that the air 6 inches away from the flame is 200 times hotter than the flame itself. So the gravity models can't explain that. Okay? The Electric Universe Model can explain it. The sun is powered externally, not internally. The sun is an electric arc discharge in a cosmic circuit. It's connected to the galaxy by Birkeland currents. And what I mean by that is, if you ever look up like the similarity of a picture of neurons firing off in your brain and compare it to the like a picture of the universe, I think in X-ray, you will see that every single sun connects to every single sun. Like they all connect. Everything is connected. And it explains invisible rivers of electricity flowing through plasma. Okay, so we've observed electrical currents flowing into the sun from interstellar space. We measure them. And if the sun works this way, so does every star. Okay? So here's another thing that gravity-only models struggle with is planetary surfaces. Mars has a canyon system, valleys, that's about like 2,500 miles long, 120 miles wide, 4 miles deep. The standard explanation is water erosion or tectonic cracking over billions of years. I don't think that. There was some kind of big explosion or a huge asteroid that hit it. One of the two. Or it could be this electrical discharge scar. The electric universe model says that many of the erosion features we see on planets aren't from slow processes. They are from plasma discharge events, cosmic lightning strikes during periods of extreme electromagnetic instability. Kinda something we're heading towards. Okay, this is called catastrophism, and it rewrites history. Instead of slow, gradual change over billions of years, the EU model says that the solar system has experienced a violent electrical reorganizations, movements when planets moved, when surfaces were scarred by megavolt arcs, when entire civilizations were wiped out by plasma events. Younger Dryas, the flood myths, the stories of fire from the sky, not metaphor, plasma discharge. Okay, so why does all this matter? The electric universe model explains the mechanisms behind everything. The pyramids weren't tombs, they were electromagnetic amplifiers. The Great Pyramid sits over an underground aquifer. Water flowing through limestone generates an electrical charge, streaming potential effects. The shafts inside the pyramids are precise angles, not for ventilation, but for channeling electromagnetic resonance. We've tested this. If you send sound waves at the right frequency toward the Great Pyramid, it amplifies them and converts them into electromagnetic energy. The pyramid is a machine, and the ancients knew it. The oceans are portals. Salt water is one of the best conductors of electricity on Earth. Moving salt water, currents, tides, waves, generates electromagnetic fields. The ocean isn't just water, it's a massive magno-hydrodynamic system. Channy talked about this. Brian kind of talked about this, but it wasn't in the documents. It was more personal, I would say. And the EU model proves it. When the ancients built temples on coastlines, when they marked certain ocean points as sacred, they weren't being superstitious. They were mapping the planetary electromagnetic grid. Okay? The moon disrupted Earth's frequency. The moon is tidally locked. It never rotates relative to Earth. That's statistically bizarre. Most moons don't do this. The EU model suggests the moon wasn't captured by gravity alone. It was electrically captured, pulled into position during a period of solar instability, and locked there by electromagnetic forces. When the moon arrived, it didn't just create tides, it disrupted Earth's natural electromagnetic resonance. The Schumann resonance, the frequency at which the planet hums. That disruption severed humanity's access to higher frequency states of consciousness. The Tower of Babel wasn't about a physical building, it was about the frequency collapse that happened when the moon arrived, and humanity lost unified consciousness. We didn't lose a shared language, we lost a shared frequency. Catastrophes are electrical, not random. The Younger Dryas event, 12,800 years ago, wasn't just a meteor impact or a solar flare. It was a plasma discharge event, a moment when the solar system's electrical balance shifted violently. Civilizations that survived weren't lucky, they were prepared. They knew the cycles. They encoded the knowledge into megaliths, into myths, into star charts, the Sumerian king list, the 432,000-year cycles, the Mayan long count, the precision of the equinoxes. They're not mythology. They're electromagnetic cycle records. Okay. The science is real. Okay. So the electric universe model is supported by decades of peer-reviewed research in plasma physics, magno-hydrodynamics, and astrophysics. Look up the works of these people, because Haynes Offen, Christian Birkeland, Anthony Parrott, Wallace Thornhill, and David Talbot. Okay, so and some of the things he did, the electro, the magnetic, the mag, the magno, the magnet, the MHD. Okay, we're just gonna call it MHD, and plasma behavior in space. Birkeland discovered the electrical currents that connect the sun to Earth and structure the cosmos. Parrott demonstrated the plasma discharge patterns match ancient petroglyphs worldwide. Thornhill and Talbot, modern researchers who compiled the evidence into a coherent cosmological framework. Okay, so what does this mean? If the universe is electric, then consciousness is electric. That could be a good possibility. Or there is another possible explanation to this. Consciousness could be non-local and fundamental. Can psychism or idealism, with the electromagnetic activity in the brain acting as a receiver or a tuner rather than the generator, like a radio picking up a signal. The brain doesn't produce consciousness, and this is quite known. Okay, even Huxley said that the brain doesn't produce consciousness. It filters or interfaces with a universal field of consciousness, and electric fields are the interface mechanism. This fits both quantum mind theories and many spiritual traditions. In this view, the electrical aspect is hardware, not the source. Okay. So back to the first possibility. If the Earth is an electromagnetic system, then we are nodes in that system. If the pyramids were amplifiers and the oceans are conductors, then the ancients weren't primitive, they were tuned in. And if catastrophes are electrical, then the 1998 documents that Brian gave me, were the timeline leading to that event. It's electromagnetic, a solar event, a frequency shift, a plasma discharge that resets the board. Okay, but here's the thing. If you know what's coming, you can prepare. You can align your frequency, love and laughter. You can tune yourself to the shift instead of being shattered by it. That's what the pyramids were for. That's what the sacred sites were for. That's what the knowledge was for. And that's what I'm here to tell you. The reset is real. The science proves it, and you can survive it. Okay, and I believe I get into some more of that in depth in the next article. The moon closed the portals, where I'm going to go deep into the moon. Why is it tidally locked? What did it do to Earth's electromagnetic field, and why ancient texts from every culture mark its arrival as the moment everything changed. Okay, so there you have it. And what do I mean? See, our emotion. What do I mean by the love and laughter thing? Our emotions create our frequency. So if you have hate and fear, you're gonna go through something bad. Okay? If you have love and laughter, then this whole shift is going to be easier. I don't know how easier. I don't remember the last shift, you know. I don't even know. I think I was a part of the last shift. I don't know. I may not have been. But it's I don't exactly know how this shift plays out to a degree. I know that there's a shift going to happen, but you want your frequency high. You will more than likely survive if you believe in love and laughter. Okay? Alright, so, that's it for today. Um, I hope you have a good one. I will hopefully see you Saturday, just not on here. But also, I hope that you come to my space on Saturday at 5 o'clock Central Standard Time. One of the first main things that we will discuss from that is what day we will actually do this space once a week. Because Saturdays going forward might not be the best time for me, especially at 5 o'clock. Alright. So, see you next time. And this has been a gesture production. Bye bye now.